overseas investors, meaning foreign investors, are snatching up America's limited supply of single family homes in the suburbs. Now, they had already been doing this in big cities. Now they've really expanded their reach to some of the suburban areas outside of cities. And what it's essentially doing is screwing you. If you've been in the market to buy a house and you've been wondering how is it that there are bidding wars where the final price ends up being hundreds of thousands of dollars more than what the asking price is, this is what's driving it. Don't let anyone tell you that it's because of a lack of inventory or because there's zoning problems. Oh, these strict zoning laws. We need to repeal the zoning laws so we can build more houses. That's not what's happening. Houses are being built and they're being sold not to just US investors, big investors. I'm not talking about individuals. They're also being snatched up by foreign investors as well, who are looking for a place to shelter their money, guys. Stock market looks like a bit of a bubble. Where are we gonna keep our money? How are we gonna have some passive income? And their way of doing it is buying up these homes and renting them out. So I wanna give you some of the details that were shared in a Wall Street Journal piece. They write that in suburban neighborhoods near cities such as Atlanta, Las Vegas, and Phoenix, blocks of families are sending monthly rent checks to ventures backed by Canadian pension funds, European insurers, and Asian or Middle Eastern government-run funds. But why? Why is that allowed? Why is that allowed? Let me give you more. Foreign investors account for nearly a third of institutional investment in single family rental homes. A third, guys. And I do want to call out some specific investors from different countries, including German insurer Allianz SE last month said that it is investing to buy more than $4 billion of US rental homes. Singapore's sovereign wealth fund, GIC, is backing plans by Quinn Residences to buy single family rental homes across the southeastern United States. And let me be clear about something. I mean, they're being referred to as rental homes. That just means that they're buying homes that they intend to rent. Okay, it's not like they're buying apartment buildings where the people in there are already renting. We're talking about them buying existing homes on the market with the intention of not selling them, renting them out, which of course limits the inventory. And then Canada's Public Sector Pension Investment Board, meanwhile, said in January it agreed to a $700 million rental home venture in partnership with Pretium Partners LLC. The venture has bought around 2,000 homes. And again, I just want to make sure that you guys understand this because I need you to be the debunkers. Every time you hear this talking point, I need you to be the debunkers. There isn't an issue with the lack of development, okay? There's an issue of homes literally being built with the intention of selling them to these investors, either domestically or to foreign investors. As the Wall Street Journal notes, unlike a decade ago when investors bought foreclosed homes and those already occupied, the focus is now on newly built properties. So if you're one of these bankers who's going around saying like, no, it's zoning, we gotta get rid of zoning, zoning's a problem, we gotta get rid of zoning. It's not zoning, This is what's happening, okay? We have these sharks and these vultures coming in, looking for places to store their cash, and they're artificially inflating the market. And they're creating a situation in which working people get completely priced out, even in areas that were considered, low cost relative to some of the big cities. I obviously feel very passionately about this issue, but Woz, please jump in.
Yeah, so do I. It's kind of crazy. As a New Yorker, I'm very acutely aware of this problem and phenomenon because, back in the days when you felt like you really made it in life, you were able to get an apartment in Manhattan. Mind you, not Harlem, not Washington Heights, all the way uptown, really not even Lower East Side, right? That was considered to be slumming it, right? But slowly but surely, they started building these monstrosities on the west side. And they started being bought up by Chinese investors, Saudi investors, because a lot of times if you are one of the oligarchs in China, one of the safest places to put your money is America, because America takes money very seriously. And two, real estate in America is one of the safest, basically holding havens. So they would buy up all these apartments, all of this stuff that nobody lives in. While nobody's living in there, those prices they're jacking up the price of rent on other Manhattanites, who then even some of the most successful people in New York City were like, yo, I can't even afford Manhattan rent. I gotta slum it in Brooklyn. And guess who has to move when those people move to Brooklyn? Because they can't even afford to live in Manhattan, right? Like, who do you think is moving out of places like Bushwick and Bed-Stuy and other neighborhoods in Brooklyn that, were traditionally just working class neighborhoods and now have been overrun by yuppies? Like, this has a trickle down effect on the bottom rung of people. Like, it's very easy to see. And again, these apartments sit vacant just so these cats from Saudi and China can park money in America, and at the same time ruin the lives of normal working people. And the realtors, of course they want this. This is jacking up the value of all of their stuff. Like, it works perfect for them. So, the foreign investment gets what they want. They get a nice, safe place to park their money, just in case MBS holds another freaking meeting at a hotel with all the Saudi royalty and wants to freaking slice people's throats open and say, I'm gonna threaten to take all of your money that's in the bank. They know they have a nice, safe place of money that won't be touched in America. Same thing with China. Just so those cats can have the right to do that and feel that safety. We disrupt the lives and the pricing out of people at the bottom, man. This stuff matters. It matters, especially something as essential as housing. There's nothing more important than housing.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I mean, healthcare, housing, education. I mean, these are things that have been completely defunded. They've been corrupted by moneyed interests. And it is interesting to see, like, I can't speak for other parts of the country specifically because I haven't studied it as much as I've studied what's happening in Los Angeles. But in Los Angeles, we have around, I'm sure the number has increased since the last time I checked, but ballpark 60 to 65,000 homeless people in LA alone. Just Los Angeles County, there's around that many homeless people. At the same time, there are more than 100,000 vacant units. Now, that's not to say that all of those units are perfectly fine to move into. Some landlords, they might be taking some time to remodel them or make them available for rent or available, for someone to live in them. But my point here is we have vacant units, as you had mentioned. And what is the response to homelessness from the Los Angeles City Council so far? Okay. You have Council Member Bonin, I don't know how you say his name, who's like, yeah, we do have a problem with homelessness. Maybe we just let them pitch as many tents as they want on the beach. Okay, but what's the environmental impact of that? And is that really the humane answer to this? There are obviously vacant units. Why don't we have a discussion about that? There are other city council members who are like, oh, we got an idea. Let's just buy vacant lots and just put as many as we can in vacant lots and just let them do what they do. Oh, that's your solution to homelessness in Los Angeles. I mean, it's garbage. It's garbage. Why is it that we have so many vacant units? The LA City Council was previously considering taxing landlords who don't rent out those units. And they decided to drop that. I wonder why. And so this is an issue that's affecting everyone throughout the country. And I don't even really see members of Congress focusing on it at all. Like, it's not even on their radar. And it's infuriating because people keep trying to jam this myth of merit down our throats. Like, oh, if you just work hard enough, if you get the right education, doesn't matter what you do, guys. Doesn't matter how hard you work. Doesn't matter how much you save. It doesn't matter. They come in and they buy in cash. You have no chance. Yeah. 20% down payment, doesn't matter. They're buying you out in cash. outbidding you in cash, I should say.
And we're talking about people with great jobs. Like the idea that you could ever buy property in a city like San Francisco or even neighboring Oakland is beginning to be just completely unrealistic because of the housing situation over there. But even, obviously Oakland and San Francisco is a unique sort of issue. But I just would remind people that, back when America was great, or when these people would like us to think so, you graduated high school, you got a factory job, you could probably buy a house within 2 years of that. That's what the case used to be in this country. And now I'm talking about households making $200,000 in order to buy property in some of these cities because of the artificial jacking up of some of the prices by foreign investment. Again, if people have no intention of living there, no intention of doing anything with this stuff, but to just, find somewhere to store some cash where they know the value is gonna grow at least a little bit on their money and they'll get some type of return on it. It's disgusting, it's awful.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, I really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.